The Necklace, Chapter 7, NCERT 10 English. Introduction. We will see here Matilda is invited to a grand party. She has beautiful dress but no jewelry. She borrows a necklace from a friend and loses it. What happens then? We will see in a lesson. Then here is Matilda is a major character. Then let's see. She was one of those pretty young ladies born as if through an error of the destiny into a family of clerks. She was one of those pretty. She was a pretty from that the family, and she is a one of young ladies. She was a one of young ladies born as if through an error of the destiny into the family of the clerk. In that the family she born it, and the family's background of the clerk. She had no dowry, no hopes, no mean of becoming known, loved and married by man, either rich or distinguished. Now, she had no dowry, then no hopes, no mean of becoming known, loved and married by a man either rich or distinguished. She wanted to marry either rich or distinguished. Distinguished means different yet recognized and treated that the person. And she allowed herself to marry a pretty clerk in the office of the Board of Education. Then she allowed herself to marry a pretty clerk in the office of the Board of Education. She was simple, but she was unhappy. She was very simple, but she was very unhappy. She suffered incessantly, feeling herself born for all daily delicacies and luxurious. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment, the shabby walls, and the worn chair. All these things tortured and angers her. She suffered incessantly means of something regarded as unpleasant, continuous, without pause. It is a continuous, unpleasant. Then feeling herself born for all delicacies. Delicacies means fineness. From her born, she is not fine, then she suffer from that luxurious life. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment. She suffered for that poverty and that apartment. Then shabby walls and the home chair. Shabby walls and the home chair, all these things tortured to the angered her. That these are the all things is give anger to her, and she's not feel comfortable. When she seated herself for dinner opposite her husband, who uncovered the turbans with a delighted ear, saying, "Oh, the good pot pie! I know nothing better than that." She would think of elegant dinner, of the shining silver. She thought of the exquisite food served in a marvelous dishes. Then she had neither frocks nor jewels, nothing, and she loved only those things. When she seated herself for dinner opposite her husband, when she sat with the dinner opposite of her husband, who uncovered the turbans with the delighted ear, she not able to cover that turbans with the delighted ear, saying, "Oh, the good pot pie." She say, "Oh, it's a good pot pie. I know nothing better than that." She would think of elegant dinner. She think about it at the elegant dinner of the shavings silver, and she thought of the Exquisite, exquisite means beautiful food served in the marvelous dishes. She want to serve that the dinner with the marvelous dishes, but she has nothing any marvelous dishes in her house. She had neither frocks nor jewel. She has neither good frock as well as jewelry. Nothing. She has nothing. And she loved only those things. But she loved more of those the things. Then she had a rich friend. She had a rich friend, a schoolmate at the convent who she did not like to visit. She suffered so much when she returned, and she wept for whole days for the despair of the disappointment. She had a rich friend. She had a rich friend and schoolmate at the convent who she did not like to visit. Then she suffered so much when she returned. She suffered so much when she returned from her friends. She wept for whole days from despair and disappointment. She wept for the whole days for that the despair and disappointment. One evening, her husband returned late, bearing in his hand a large envelope. Then, one evening, her husband returned from his office with a large envelope. Here, he said, here is something for you. He said, here is something for you. She quickly drew out a printed card on which were inscribed these words. She quickly drew out of the printed card on which were the described these words. The Minister of Public Instruction and Madame George Ramponneau ask the owner of Mr. and Miss Meaning Loyal's company Monday evening, January 18 at the minister residence. Instead of being the delighted she as her husband had hoped, her husband had hoped, instead of being the delighted as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation spitefully upon the table, murmuring, what do you suppose I want with that? Her husband hoped that she will delight with the see that the envelope, but it's happened totally opposite. She become very nervous and unhappy, and she threw that the envelope on the table, murmuring, "What do you suppose I want with that? What do you want? I suppose I want with that."